praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Ba'ashem Akakwadash. Just setting the stage for the zooming out. Let me zoom out a little bit. Shalom, Shalom, Akim. Giving our praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Ba'ashem Akakwadash. Give double honors to all the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone, and rise up to the house of David. We are back at you with another lesson with the power and spirit of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. I'm going to go in on Acts chapter 17. The whole of the chapter is good. And we'll read some of the subheading here. Paul at Thessalonica, Paul at Berea, Paul at Athens, Paul and sermon on the Mars Hill. Some more of Paul's travels and Paul's challenges. The original Stoic man, one of my previous videos. Paul, high level prophet, original Stoic. And I just wanted to home in and isolate. Just read this precept here. Acts 17:11 says, these were more noble than those in Thessalonica, in that they received the word with all readiness of mind and searched the scriptures daily whether those things were so. Alright. Let me read it again, man. Let me adjust make sure you can see it, because I checked one of my videos and I want you to be able to see it a bit more better, because I zoomed in, not too close or not too far out either. Abaratazar shows up alright on the video. Right, let's read it again. These were more noble than those in Thessalonica, in that they received the word with all readiness of mind and searched the scriptures daily whether those things were so. So only put juicy words in that, just that precept, man, we can look into. Yeah, so we're going to check out the word noble, and there's other words we may go into in this chapter through the spirit though. But yeah, man, reading the precepts and applying them is the real cure, and we're doing that right now. We're on the road to healing through the power and spirit of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. Let's look at the word noble here. Like I say, we're taking our medicine right now, going in on some juicy words. The power is in the applying the precepts and reading the precepts. So these men, right, these were noble men, man. These were noble men in Berea, if I'm pronouncing that right. And what does the word noble mean? Because we want to have those qualities ourselves. Yeah, how they were diligent, daily searching the scriptures to see whether those things were so, what Paul was saying. So the noble men now, belonging by rank, title or birth to historicity. I know how to say it if I wasn't trying to pronounce it on the thing. I'll say the word all the time. Aristocracy. Just got to take your time on certain words, man. Aristocrat. Yeah, there it is. Aristocrat. Aristocratis. Man, I don't know why that happens. You get tongue tied with certain words, man. Aristocracy. Aristocrat, noble born, title, patrion, righteous, virtue, all under the synonym of being a noble person. Good, honorable, honest, upright. Aristocrat, noble man, noble woman, lord, lady, peer. Yeah, man. It's an interesting word, this one. Righteous, virtue, good, honorable, honest, upright, upstanding, decent, worthy, noble-minded, incorporated, anti-cooperation, more ethical, reputable. Right, man, these are good words. See if I can pronounce this one. Magnanimous, yeah. Magnanimous, unselfish, generous, self-sacrificing, brave, lofty, exalted, elevated, grand, sublime, aristocrat. I like that one there. You hear that word more often than these other words here. Someone is an aristocrat, but I want to know what that is, man. I have heard it, but what does it mean, man? Of belonging to or typical of aristocracy, noble title, upper class, yeah, upper class, highborn, well born, upper class. Upper class, let's check that one out, man. Social group that has the highest statues in society, especially in aristocracy, an aristocrat. All right, man. I think I got enough out of that one. Someone born of high class, noble born, noble birth. So we looked at that. Noble born. We looked at this. We looked at that. So I wanted to find out. I asked Google, give an example. Give an example of someone who is a noble. Just tapped in. Give an example. Noble. An example. Zoom out for this one. Yeah, an example of noble, having, showing, or coming from personal qualities that people admire. Or coming from personal qualities that people admire, such as honesty, generosity, courage. He was a man of noble character. He was a noble of her to come forward with this information. Honesty. Noble. Forthright, honest, yeah, honest, forthright, courage, generosity. Let's zoom out because you know I got a little bit out of that there. One more, last one. Etymology. This is a word search. This is an exercise, a word exercise for me. And it's just good to do that, you know. It's just good to do that, and I'm getting used to doing it. Noble in the etymology says illustrious, distinguished, of high rank or birth. Yeah, man. How do you pronounce it? In the old French, noble, bearing or birth from nobilis, well known, famous, renowned, excellent, superior, splendid, highborn, of superior birth. Knowable, from the noble, to come to know. Prominent Roman families which were well known provided most of the public's officials. Gives an example there. Sense of distinguished by splendor, magnificence, or stateliness, meaning worthy of honor or respect. Worthy of honor or respect, sense of having lofty character, having high moral qualities, is moral superiority. In a primitive man conceived of as moral superiority to civilized man, the phase itself is from the Dardan. The idea developed in the 18th century. Alright, man. Having superior, having high moral qualities. So if you want to not have that word in a nutshell, that's what you might call it, man. having high moral qualities, superior to civilized man. Now, see, a little word search, and you got a little bit of some nice examples there. The example, I want to go back to that again. The example was, because when you do these things, certain things stick with you more than others when you do these type of videos. Having, showing, or coming from personal qualities that people admire, such as honesty, courage. Yeah, people respect honesty. People that are just sincere and honest. Generosity, they respect that. Courage, be honest with you. Some people don't really, not everybody does, but a lot of people do. Even the example of Kevin Samuels, he wasn't a man of the Lord, he wasn't a spiritual man, but he was quite honest in his opinion when he was talking on the subject of women and high value men and what women do, the wrongs they do, the lies they tell, and he was honest about it. So a lot of people didn't like it, but a lot of women who knew they wasn't doing right, they had to respect the honesty and the courage, because they don't really like dishonesty women. If you're sneaking around and you got other women, they usually catch you, and they don't respect the fact that you're doing that. They may well respect the fact more so, which is, there's no such thing as sneaking around, I mean, there is, but a man can have more than one woman. We're going to do that. We're going to have that more so in the kingdom. It's not wrong to do it. It's not unscriptural to do it. But they respect you when you're honest about it. That's the point I'm making. So honesty is showing a noble quality. Being courageous, being generous. They respect these qualities. Honest people mostly respect honest people. Courageous people, for the most part, respect courageous people. Generous people, for the most part, respect generous people. But if you're not being befitting to those qualities and you're not right, you ain't gonna really like it when someone's telling you about yourself. That's the point I'm making. But yeah, nobles, being a noble is a quality to seek after. Enough said on that. And we want to get to the blue letter. This ain't gonna be no long video, and we're gonna go in on it for the point I made it. Paul at Berea, and he gave a good example about those men. And the brethren immediately sent Paul away and Silas by night unto Berea, who coming thither went unto the synagogue of the Jews. Right. These were more noble than those in Thessalonica, in that they received the word with all readiness of mind, and searched the scriptures daily whether those things were so. See, Paul, a man of honor himself, a noble man himself, said that he respected the fact that these men here were noble themselves. He says that these were more noble than those in Thessalonica. They were more noble in that they received the word with all readiness of mind, and searched the scriptures daily whether those things were so. So a noble would respect another noble. Real recognize real. Paul was a noble. He was a man of honor himself. After he woke up to the truth, he was converted from being a Pharisee to knowing that he was a man of the Lord, a true Israelite, as it says in Romans 9 and preceding verses on down. He respected the fact that he was that they were noble just like him, searching the scriptures daily to see whether those things were so, because he was sincere, and as he instigated the persecution of a lot of his fellow Jews, which he didn't know they were. But he was in sincerity doing wrong. He had a misguided loyalty, and he also instigated the death of Prophet Stephen. But it was weighing heavily on him, and he made a conversion, and he was about that life when he changed around, and he was about that, showing those qualities of being a noble man, courageous, generous, and forthright and honest. And he said about these men, these were more noble than those in Thessalonica, that they received the word with all readiness, because he did so too. Once he realized he was going off by persecuting the Christians, he received the word with readiness of mind and searched the scriptures daily whether these things were so. So someone who was a lawyer would respect the fact that another person's honorable and noble like themselves, searching the scriptures daily, checking things out, research. And we're following that example because we learn, Paul said, be a follower of me, myself, like I myself am a follower of Yahweh Mashiach. I won't go in on this one. There's a holy permit there, but just going to bring out the bullet points. And if I have to do a part 2, I may do a part 2. So the word we looked at noble already in the Google. Let's check it out now. What it says here.
Eugenes. Strong's G 2104. Eugenes.
Alright, so that's how you describe it. Eugenes. Let's hear it again.
Strong's G 2104. Eugenes.
Yeah, well born of a noble family, noble minded. So Google was, kind of, I agree. Well born, brought up well, good upbringing, family, and all Yashua Allah. Before we went into the curses, man, Moses, we used to have a stick where we used to keep our family tree on the stick, and you could just check that stick or rod. You know about Moses' rod when he went to Pharaoh and he threw down his rod and it turned into a serpent, and it eventually ate up the two serpents of Pharaoh's soothsayers, Jammies and Jambres, his witchcraft soothsayers. The rod yam up both of their rods. But we used to have a rod, and I could do a video on that. We used to have rods. The noblemen had rods, and they had the names on their family tree generation on their rod, so you can go back to see what line they came from. The noble line they came from, the family tree. So yeah, and they would know whether you were of noble. They were just, so we were noble anyway. The Yashua Allah all came from nobility, prince of the power, because we were the sons of God. Israel come from the sons of God. So you had the sons of the wicked, which were the E's, the sons of man, which were the sons of men, the other nations, and then you have the sons of God, Yashua Allah, the princes of the power, true people of God. But even though we all came from Adam, in 2nd Ezra 6, we all came from Adam, mentions that. But all the other Goyim and other nations are spittle. So we all came from Yashua Allah, were the nobles, and still are. Right now we're under the curses, but we're coming from under the curses, getting back in our right minds, overcoming all the challenges, what we went through. Yashua Allah, there's no nation has been through what Yashua Allah has been through, Israel has been through, as it mentions in Daniel 9 and 12. But we still have we're still here, man. Let's say that the remnant, the Most High saved. Ultimately, the elect, the Most High has preserved the elect, as He said that He would do, being that we were created from the beginning of creation. But He preserved, and no one ain't gonna come touch not my anointed and do my prophets no harm. So He preserved the elect, the nobles. We're still noble. despite what you see, despite what we've been through, we're still noble. Doesn't matter what we've been through. Again, Daniel 9 and 12 talks about it. There's no nation suffered like us. But we're still noble, man. We're still raw. We've got raw blood running through our veins. There's a lot of Deuteronomy 28 goes into what we've been through, those curses, but we're coming through it. Those curses are now going on our enemies. I want you to just hit that word, noble. There's one more word, one more. Should I take that one there? Take it. We're on target for time. Let's go into that one. Received. There's other words there. Readiness of mind. Searched. Those things. Well, yeah. All right. Let's look at this. Just one more word, because I want to just do a simple, quick video. It doesn't have to be no long thing. Received. Jacob.
Strong's G 1209. Dachamai. Dachamai.
Right. That's the word there. Dachamai. You pronounce it there. Received. Right. The noble men. What did they do? They take with the hand. Take hold of it. Take up. Receive. Even though we got an idea what the word is. It's a simple word, but it's good to exercise the words, exercising it, drumming it in, drumming in the bullet points, for it to become second nature. Doing what the Bereans were doing, that's what we're doing now. Checking these things to see whether those things were so. We can hear a brother, an elder, an apostle say a word. That's how I'm starting to do my videos now. Actually, I remember back in the day when I used to get into my dictionary, the school dictionary, the Oxford Dictionary, and I remember taking it, taking it home and just checking out words out, just looking at words and checking up words. It actually, I knew then certain words is good to check up, and it does widen and improve your vocabulary. You can say big words, but what's the point in saying them when you don't even know what they mean? So that's what I used to do back at school. I used to do that. I knew. I was cognizant to know to do that even, but I'm doing it now too. So that's the spirit, man. That's the spirit. That was even the spirit then. Take up, receive, to know a big word and listen to a teacher saying words in maths or in English. To know a big word, and they're spitting big words. Them E's love to spit big words to sound like all upright and intelligent. Some of them don't even know what they mean either. But what's the point in talking like that and you don't even know what they mean, man? So yeah, I used to do that, and I'm doing it again now. Through the power and spirit of Yahweh Shemashai. Receive, grant, access to. Visitor, not to refuse. Intercourse or friendships. Right, receive, hospitality. Yeah, they were hospitable. The nobles those days were hospitable. They received hospitality. And they were hospitable to Paul. That's what it's really saying as well. Receive one unto one's family, to bring up or educate. Bring up, re-educate. To educate, to teach means to bring out what is in. This truth is doing that. That is the best teaching. This truth, Yahweh Yahushua are the best teachers, man. Of the things offered in speaking, teaching, instructing, receive favorably, give ear to, embrace, make one's own, approve, not to reject. Yeah, and that's what we're doing now. The scriptures talk about that. Receiving the truth, making it our own. And I've got a precept to back that one up there. I'm going to come back. Making the truth our own. Actually, let's get that one now. We can come back to that. How do you make the truth one's own? Sustain, to bear. Yeah, receive, to take upon oneself. Sustain, bear. Make one's own. Approve, not to reject. Precept. I have to go to it right now. This one here. This is in Romans chapters 14 and 5 says, "What one man esteemeth one day above another, another esteemeth every day alike. Let every man be fully persuaded in his own mind." Yeah, That's how you make the truth your own, just like those nobles were doing. Those nobles were doing the word. Let me go to that word there. I want to go to it, man. Those nobles were doing. They wasn't doing it in Thessalonica. Received. I want to go to that. I want to see that. I want to go to it. Let's do that. 11 says, and these were more noble than those in Thessalonica. That's the word I want. I want to go to that word. Let's go to it. What's stopping me? And these brethren immediately aware. Silas went to where. Right. This is what I want. Beer. If I find that one hard to pronounce. Beoria. Right. Where was it? Beoria, well watered, a city in Macedonia near Pila, at the root of Mount Bemus. Alright. It means well watered. City in Macedonia near Pila, at the root of Mount Bemus. That was Beoria. Beoria. Alright, man. But that's really what I wanted to bring that out, that word. What it meant, where it was. That it was a city, a well-watered city. That's what it means, well-watered in Macedonia. Alright? So those men in that city, what meant well-watered, were nobles. They were noble men. Now I'm getting back to this again now. I was looking at the word they received. Those men received. And I might do a part 2 because it's about that time, around about that time. I might do a part 2. They received. Let's finish it off. They received favorably to give ear to embrace to embrace one's own, approve, not reject. And we went to Romans, and I'm going to read that again. Romans 14 and 5 says, one man esteemeth one day above another, a day above another. Another esteemeth every day alike. Let every man be fully persuaded in his own mind. Alright, and that is how you do it, by being noble, by receiving the word, like those men in Beoria, if I'm pronouncing that right, the well-watered city. They came out, Paul met them, they was hospitable to him, they were noble, searching the scriptures daily to see whether them things were so. And that is how you make the truth your own, by being noble like those men in Beoria, like those men, noble men. And I'm going to read Romans and end off the video because we're doing that ourselves. The system process around this time of the year starts, and men are falling by the wayside. Why? Because they're not applying this precept. And we know reading and applying the precepts is the best cure. Right? Yeah, man, all kinds of excuses why they don't want to endure and stay in the truth. A lot of it is vanity. Right? A lot of it is just straight vanity. Twitter, not wanting to give up their social medias and all kinds of things. You know, sometimes you just got to sit down and reflect, man, and take a step back and look and get a bird's eye view of what is really taking place. You know, the first person you need to be honest to, the first person you need to be honest with is yourself. Because if you can't be honest with yourself, you ain't gonna be honest with nobody. You definitely ain't gonna be honest with your whole way I was shy. So Romans, I'm gonna read it and go end off the video. Romans 14 and 5 says, one man esteemeth one day above another, right? Another esteemeth every day alike. Let every man be fully persuaded in his own mind. First person you got to be honest with and truthful with is yourself, and then you can build around that. 6. He that regardeth the day regardeth it unto the Lord, and he that regardeth not the day to the Lord, he doth not regard it. He that eateth, eateth to the Lord, for he giveth good thanks. He giveth Yahweh thanks, God thanks, read it verbatim. And he that eateth not to the Lord, eateth not to giveth God thanks. For none of us liveth to himself, and no man dieth to himself. For whether we live, if you can see that, let me zoom in on that. Oh, that's better. Zoomed in on that. So whether we live unto the Lord, and whether we die unto the Lord, whether we live therefore or die, we are the Lord's. Yeah, we belong to the Lord's. Yeah, those men, the elect and the hopeful elect, are plucked up from the very beginning, from creation. Yeah, the elect, the election, right? They were with him from creation, and the Most High got them. Yeah, Abaratazar, were those men. 9. For the end, Yahushua and Mashiach both die and rose and revived, that he might be Lord both of the dead and living. Yeah. Alright. But why dost thou judge thy brother? Or why dost thou set a note thy brother? Set at naught thy brother. For we shall all stand before the judgment seat of Yahushua and Mashiach. Seat of a Mashiach. For it is written, As I live, saith the Lord, every knee shall bow to me, and every tongue shall confess to God. So then every one of us shall give an account of himself to God. Right, you see that? That is why you got to be fully persuaded in your own mind. Right? Fully persuaded in Yehovah Hashem Yehoshua, in your own mind. First person you got to be truthful with and honest with is yourself. All praises to Yehovah Hashem Yehoshua. I read it again. One man esteemeth one day above another, another esteemeth every day alike. Let every man be fully persuaded in his own mind. So we have to be fully persuaded in our own mind. And how do we do that? We just looked at the example there. Paul at Berea, the example of these noblemen. Alright, I'll read it again and we're going to end off the video. At Acts chapter 17 and 10. And the brethren immediately sent away Paul and Silas by night and unto Berea, who coming thither went unto the synagogue of the Jews. Right, so you can see. And these were more noble than those in Thessalonica, in that they received the word with all readiness of mind. We looked at the word readiness. Received, making something your own, being hospitable. Received, then it was hospitable to Paul, of mind, and searched the scriptures daily, whether those things were so, because they had the noble qualities, hospitable qualities to Paul. Searching the scriptures daily to make these things so. That's how you make the truth your own. Every man must be fully persuaded in his own mind. Romans chapters 14 and Romans chapters 14, because we're drumming it in, right? Romans chapters 14, we're drumming it in. And 5, one man esteemeth one day above another, and esteemeth every day alike. Let every man be fully persuaded in his own mind. All praises to Yahweh Hashem Yeshua. The water to Yahweh Hashem Yeshua, give me the spirit to do this video. Shalom to all the sincere Akim. The house of David is rising. So on to the next one.